of the International Web Conference, Perspective on Agricultural and Applied Sciences in COVID-19 Scenario Past 2020, that is being organized by the Agricultural and Environmental Technology Development Society, AETTS, Udhamnagar, Uttarakhand, India, in collaboration with Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, Pari, Kazipur, Dhaka, Bangladesh, Rajiv Gandhi Central Agriculture, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, Soil, Water and Environmental Research Institute, Swari, Agriculture Research Center, Giza, Egypt, Shobit Institute and Engineering and Technology, Modipuram, Meerut. First of all, I warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Kushwaha Sir, Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Andhra Pradesh. He is PhD from BHU Varanasi and holds the professional positions for about 19 years. He has over 30 years of experience in teaching, research, extension of administration in India and abroad. He has published more than a dozen of book research papers. Professor Saket Kushwaha was VC of Lalit Narayan Mithila University, Darbhanga, Bihar. His life and writings are in themselves a source of contribution to knowledge society by the following awards: Bhumi Nirvan Award, Vidya Sagar Award, Rashtriya Gaurav Excellent Award 2016 and Global Leadership Excellent Award. Now, I heartily welcome to our honorable special guest, Dr. Mohammad Nazirul Islam Sir, Director General, Pari, Gazipur, Bangladesh. He was awarded PhD in Horticulture and Plant Genetics from the Scientific Articles from University of Philippines, Los Angeles in 2006. He has published many scientific articles in the international and national journals. Dr. Islam has played an outstanding role in research and development of coconut in the country. He discovered the method of making colored fiber and rope from coconut, which are being exported in different countries, including Netherlands and China. For his outstanding contribution to agricultural research in the country, Dr. Islam was awarded in the prestigious Bangladesh National Agriculture Award from Honorable Prime Minister of Government of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. Now, I open arm welcome to our honorable guest, Professor Amar P. Garg, Vice Chancellor, Shobit University, Meerut, India. Sir, I have a few lines for you. परिंदों को मंजिल मिलेगी हमेशा, ये फैले हुए उनके पंख बोलते हैं. परिंदों को मंजिल मिलेगी हमेशा, ये फैले हुए उनके पंख बोलते हैं. वही लोग रहते हैं खामोश अक्सर जमाने में जिनके हुनर बोलते हैं. Professor Amar P. Garg Sir was professor and head of Department of Microbiology in Chaudhry Chरण Singh University, Meerut, and ex-pro Vice Chancellor of Jaipur National University, Jaipur. Professor Garg Sir supervised 35 PhD and more than 75 MPhil, published more than 110 research papers in international and national journals, members of various academic societies. He was visiting scientist in UK, Taj Fellow in Germany, and received grant from Royal Society, London, UNESCO, Japan, Research Council, and British Council also. He has received Young Scientist Gold Medal, Professor Hiralal Chakravarti Award, and Global Outstanding Education Award 2019. His widely known research contributions are on protection of human hair and fungal infection using Indian hair oils. Now I warmly welcome to our honorable special guest, Professor Ruhi Dahiya, Vice Chancellor of Jyoti Vidyapith University, Jaipur. She has completed PhD from Chaudhry Chरण Singh University, Haryana. She was former Director, Government of Rajasthan. She was former director of International Horticulture Training and Innovation Center under the government of Rajasthan. She has been in Lantis Education Group, Netherlands, and Crabo Private Limited, Canada, in field of protected cultivation of retractable fruit greenhouses. She has received many awards and like Best Scientist Award, Best Teacher Award in Horticulture 2020. Now I heartily welcome to Professor Atiya Ahmed Mansoor Al Gayar Swari, Giza, Egypt. Professor Atiya Ahmed is Professor of Soil, Water and Environmental Research Institute, Giza. He is an international expert advisor of Egyptian Foreign Ministry and Ministries of Agriculture and Irrigation of the state of Rwanda. He was completed many projects in Sudan, Algeria, Tanzania, Morocco, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Canada, Australia, Cuba, Congo, India, and USA. He has published more than 100 papers in international and national journals and more than 200 communications in international and national conferences. Now I warm welcome to our honorable special guest, Professor Sumpan Tangzam, Deputy Associate, has completed his PhD from Rajiv Gandhi University, Arunachal Pradesh, India, and postdoctorate from School of Forest Resources and Conservation University of Florida, USA. Presently, he is Dean of Welfare and Dean of Agriculture Sciences and Food Technology, Rajiv Gandhi University. He has published more than 50 research papers in many reputed international and national journals. He is member and life member of various scientific society. He is member of NARC Bangalore. He was awarded by Pearl Foundation Lifetime Achievement Award for outstanding research in tribal farming system I warm welcome to our President, Professor C.P. Singh, sir. Now this is the time of prayer. Prayer is the most powerful tool mankind has. So before started any good thing, we first pray to God to attain some strength and inner peace. With this, I want to call Miss Mahjabi for lovely prayer. She write and compose this prayer. Mahjabi?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to one and all. Let us pray for today and the rest of the session that it should go well. Oh God, we glorify your name and wholeheartedly pray for your guidance amid the event and the day. We pray to open our spirits, ears, mind, and heart, so that we could receive that knowledge you wanna impart. We put ourselves in your presence, and for our talks, we pray for your guidance in our every walk. We pray. Amen. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mahjabi. Now I would like to invite Professor Sanjay Swami, sir, convener of PASS Conference 2020. Sanjay Swami,
Thank
sir.
you. Yes, thank you, Dr. Huma, for nice welcome of dignitaries as well as all the participants. Good morning, each and everyone. I also join Dr. Huma in welcoming all the dignitaries and participants for today's this important event. And it's indeed a matter of great pride for me in organizing the International Web Conference on Perspective on Agricultural and Applied Sciences in COVID-19 scenario from 4th to 6th October 2020, jointly organized by the Agricultural and Environmental Technology Development Society, Udham Singh Nagar, Uttarakhand, then Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, Gazipur, Dhaka, Bangladesh, Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, Modipuram, Meerut, then Soil, Water and Environmental Research Institute, Agriculture Research Center, Giza, Egypt, Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, and Corteva Agri Science, in collaboration with two important journals, Journal of Experimental Biology and Agricultural Sciences, as well as Journal of Post-Harvest Technology.
না না দুইবার তো দেয়া দরকার না, একটা তো ই ফাইলিং এ দিছো না কম্পিউটারে, তার কি যাবে চিঠে, তারপর আমি রাখছি সই করাই দিব না বলছি।
Dr. Huma, please
তো
ask
বললো যে
everyone
স্যার ই
to
ফাইলিং এ
mute.
তো দিছে, আবার দিবে কেন, তাই বলছে।
I request each and everyone to please mute their mic. So I would, first of all, at the outset, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Professor Sakat Kushwaha for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of today's inaugural session. He is very busy person, and despite that, he has accepted our request to grace this inaugural session and guide us and bless us. So thank you, sir. I also extend a warm welcome to Dr. Mohammad Nazirul Islam, Director General, Bari, Gazipur, Bangladesh, as well as Professor Amar P. Garg, Vice Chancellor, Soviet Deemed University, Meerut, India. Dr. Garg, I know that he was in Kathmandu also, he was present in Nainital also, and he has a very, you can say, outstanding caliber to manage the things and interact with many persons. Sir, we are always see you as a guiding person and guiding force, so that we can march ahead with your blessings. I also welcome Professor Ruhi Daya, Vice Chancellor, Jyoti Vidyaput University from Jaipur, and it's indeed a pleasure for me that I belong to that state. So my personal, you can say, I am extending my personal welcome to Professor Ruhi Daya. Then coming to Professor Atia Ahmed Al Gayar from Sweri, I welcome you also, sir, as well as Professor Sampang Thangjang, Dean Agriculture Sciences from Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Arunachal Pradesh. Again, we are well connected because we also have one college in Pasighat, Arunachal Pradesh. So we are well connected, and hope that we will meet in many platforms. So I extend a warm welcome to all of these dignitaries. Then coming to the Professor C.P. Singh, sir, the president of this ATGS society. Sir, you are always there whenever we need your help. You are guiding us, and you are a motivational force for us. So friends, we are just passing through a very, you can say, pandemic era, and the world has been put in a great lockdown with implementing necessary quarantine and social distancing practices to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. And the magnitude and speed of collapse in activity that has followed is unlike anything experienced in our life. Frankly speaking, I have never seen that all the air services, train services, and complete the life is on this standpoint. So this COVID-19 lockdown throughout the world has severely affected all works of life, particularly the lives and livelihoods of the small farmers across rural areas. Smallholder farmers are a crucial part of the food value chain, as well as a critical element of the global food system. So mapping and optimizing supply chain will be a key for the future resilience. As we adjust to a new normal and business as usual, it is imperative to leverage the lessons from the pandemic and the severe impacts it has had on the society as a whole and the farming community in particular. So friends, this past conference has been designed to address so many issues, particularly the applied sciences, how these applied sciences can be a means help us to mitigate or thus to meet the challenge what we are facing from this COVID-19 pandemic. So we have divided the whole conference in 4 major themes. So first theme is innovative approaches in agriculture and applied sciences. The second theme is natural resource management, food and environmental security. And third is life sciences, biomedical sciences and biotechnical aspects. And the last one is this agri and animal husbandry startups. So as a whole, we have divided in the conference in 4 major themes. And the 4 themes will cover so many areas, particularly the agriculture sciences, because we have less response from health sciences. So I am confident that this international web conference will deliberate on all the related issues and will come out with the recommendations that how science and technology can serve as a savior under COVID-19 climate situation, and will formulate guidelines to face the challenge which we have ahead. At the you can say at the end, I thanks and congratulate all the team members who have worked day and night to make this event a success, a grand success. I extend the hearty welcome to organizing secretary of this conference, Dr. Motiar Rahman, and the secretary of this ATDS society, Dr. Wajid Hassan, because they have put lot of efforts in organizing this event. So at the end, I extend again a warm welcome to each and every dignitaries who has spared their valuable time, and the participant who has just given a huge response, because we have got around more than 700 abstracts. It shows that how keen they are to share their innovative ideas to meet the challenge which we have ahead. Once again, thank you each and everyone, and the warm welcome. Have a good day ahead. Thank you.
Dr. Huma.
Yeah, okay.
Please.
Now it's the time to release the souvenir of the conference. I would like to invite Dr. Wajid.
Yeah.
Souvenir. You will share the screen?
Yeah. Good morning, all of you. Now we are going to release this webinar souvenir. We have received 721 abstract. Anyone can download the souvenir of this webinar from our society page AGETDS in download session. Souvenir is here. Thank you. This is the souvenir front page.
Okay.
And now onwards, any can download the souvenir of the souvenir of this webinar from our society webpage www.agetds.com from download section as well as past conference tab also. This souvenir has compiled 721 abstract with 519 pages. Thank you, Dr. Huma. Now you can proceed.
Okay. Again, I would like to invite Dr. Wajid Hassan for welcome address of dignitaries and about AGTS Society.
Thank you, Dr. Huma. I warm welcome to our honorable chief guest of the inaugural session, Professor Saket Kushwaha, Vice Chancellor Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh. I extend my warm welcome to honorable our special guest, Dr. MD Nazirul Islam, Director General, Bangladesh Agriculture Institute, Bari, Gazipur, Bangladesh. Again, I warm welcome to honorable special guest, Professor Amar P. Garg, Vice Chancellor, deemed University, Meerut, India. I warm welcome to honorable special guest, Professor Ruhi Daya, Vice Chancellor, Jyoti Vidyapeeth University, Jaipur. I warm welcome to honorable our special guest, Professor Atiya Ahmed Mansoor, Professor Atiya Ahmed. I am very pleased to be here today for the opening of the International Web Conference Perspective on Agricultural Applied Sciences in COVID-19 Scenario Past 2020. It is a great honor for me and AETDS Society that we are coordinating with Bari, Gazipur, Bangladesh, Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, Suweri, Giza, Egypt, Soviet deemed University, Meerut, India, and Kortwa Agri Science for this event. To my knowledge, this is the only conference where you can meet colleagues from your own specialist area, but you can also reunite with your university colleague, professor, research institute, scientists, research scholars, social workers. This conference will be providing a good platform to enrich and share the knowledge and expertise in the concerned area. We feel proud to say that we have received 721 abstracts already published in souvenir, and more than 120 abstracts is in my email. And we have received 189 book chapters in this conference and 210 full-length paper to publish in journals and conference proceeding. Your strong support and active participation will make a record-breaking event. We have exceeded the total number of papers and total number of pupils over registered. The quality of technical program is world-class and the spectrum of topic is very current and broad. A few forums also discuss unique topics such as agricultural, applied and environmental sciences. An impressive roster of distinguished speakers from other countries have been assembled for this opening ceremony and plenary session. We have successfully managed the whole conference with a comprehensive online process for abstract and paper submission, conference registration, and other services. Agriculture and Environmental Technology Development Society, Uddham Singh Nagar, Uttarakhand, is an autonomous research institute, educational organization registered under Society Registration Act 21/1860, bearing the registration number 1367. AETDS is mainly engaged in promotion of research in the field of agricultural and allied sciences, social sciences, biological sciences, for the development of well-being of mankind and farmer. Society also working in the area of conservation of nature and environment. AETDS is organizing workshop and training programs, symposium in different burning and challenging issues at national and international level. It is also delivering support and service to educators, researchers, farmers around the world. The main objective and aim of the society are to promote and disseminate knowledge in the agricultural and allied sciences, social sciences, biological sciences for sustainable development to make world cleaner and greener. The first step of society in the right direction would come from the educating and motivating young minds on the possibilities that this area entitles for scientific exploration. Thank you for being with us in this conference. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite Dr. Mutiyar Rahman sir, organizing secretary of the conference. Mutiyar Rahman sir.
Thank you, Madam. Honorable Special Guest and Director General of Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Amar P. Garg, Shahid Deemed University, Meerut, India, Professor Atia Ahmed Mansoor Algar, SWERI, Giza, Egypt, Professor Champan Tanjang, Dean Agricultural Sciences, Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Arunachal Pradesh, India, Professor Ruhi Dahiya, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Jyoti Vidyapith University, Jaipur, India, Honorable Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Shaked Kushwaha, Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, India, Honorable Professor C.P. Singh, President, AETDS, and Organizing Director, Professor Dr. Ashish Kumar Gupta, Executive Chairman, Professor Sanjay Shami, Organizing Convener, Dr. Harikesh Singh, Organizing Chairman, Dr. Wajid Hassan, Chief Organizing Secretary, Honorable Delegates and fellow participants, all of you are welcome to the web conference, Perspective on Agricultural and Applied Sciences in COVID-19 Scenario. About 1 million people lost their lives and 35 million people have been affected by novel COVID-19 virus. The pandemic situation affected the farmers and the agricultural production seriously. It also hampered the market price and supply chain of the production. The conference is very much time demanding and its 4 themes will cover all area of agriculture. I think this 3-day conference will provide a common platform to bring together the global scientific community to share their expertise and ideas to find a new solution to continue sustainable production of agriculture under COVID-19 situation and upcoming natural disaster with the life security of the farmers. Therefore, we will hear and see the presentations for 3 days on the research works and agricultural production system conducted under the situation in India and a different corner of the world with patience and sincere hearing. I am very much thankful to the members of the organizing committee and subcommittee of the conference and others who put their efforts in organizing the events. I wish all successes of the web conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Muhammad Nazirul Islam, sir, Director General, Bari, Gazipur, Bangladesh.
Sir, unmute, sir. Please unmute, sir.
Sorry. So thank you, Dr. Humanaz, organizing chair, and Mejhabin, co-organizing secretary, honorable chief guest, Professor Dr. Shaked Kushwaha, Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi University, Arunachal Pradesh, India, Professor C.P. Singh, President, AETDS and Organizing Director, Professor Sanjay Shami, Organizing Convener, Dr. Wajid Hassan, Secretary, AETDS, Professor Amar P. Garg, Vice Chancellor, Shahid Deemed University, Meerut, India, Professor Atia Ahmed, Mansur, Egypt, Professor Sampan Tangjang, Dean Rajiv Gandhi, Central University, India, Professor Rohit Dahiya, Vice Chancellor, Jayati Vidyapith University, Jaipur, India, Dr. Mutia Rahman, Organizing Secretary, DARI, Bangladesh, distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today at the very important International Web Conference on Perspective on Agricultural Applied Science in COVID-19 Scenario Past 2020, jointly organized by Agriculture and Environmental Technology Development Society, US Nagar, Uttarakhand, India, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, BARI, Gazipur, Bangladesh, Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, India, Soil, Water and Environmental Research Institute, Agriculture Research Center, Giza, Egypt, Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, and Cordoba Agri-Science, dating 4 to 6 October 2020. So under the present pandemic circumstances and regular advent of natural disaster, farmers and their farming have become more challenging and vulnerable to ensure food and nutritional security. The linkage between agriculture and applied science are essential to overcome pandemic situation. More importantly, concerted efforts should be made by relevant institutions by ensuring participations of people to cope with the impact of the novel pandemic. The web-based international conference has been designed to focus on various scientific tracks covering major areas of research on agriculture, biological, and applied science to explore the impact of pandemic COVID-19 on food security and the ways in which scientists, researchers, business bodies, policymakers, and susceptible households or farmers respond. In addition, the participation of the policymakers, business representatives, research fellows, the members of the scientific community, including scientists, researchers, and distinguished officials, will find out the key problems, challenges, and their pragmatic solution that definitely will extend the in-depth understandings of the impact of the way out the farmers and other stakeholders could adopt to deal with the badly impact of the novel COVID on agriculture. Interactive participation of people from different communities and different parts of the world will help know each other's activities and plans to combat the emerging situation. I do believe that the outcomes of the international conference will help policymakers to formulate plans and take immediate action appropriately for ensuring food and nutrition security and reliance of the farmers in the region and ultimately in the world. We do believe that everything is all right when agriculture goes right. So due to the pandemic, thousands of people are becoming jobless and have to stay home as a measure of quarantine. But the farmers have to seed in soil in time. Therefore, agriculture and its allied people have no respite from their worst. We still have been guessing the solution to the challenges to cope, producing as frontliners. The Prime Minister's People's Republic of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, Her Excellency, also suggests not leaving even a single inch of land fallow or uncultivated. The pandemic COVID-19, along with natural disasters like Cyclone Amphan, as well as early flash flood, makes the agriculture system more vulnerable. Prolonged and late flood makes the situation more dangerous and vulnerable. The scientists, seed producer, agricultural extension workers, and farmers together have been taking the challenges of food production to feed the people. And people also quickly adopt with the urban agriculture like rooftop agriculture, agricultural mechanization, food processing, and value addition, sorting agriculture, conservation agriculture. Finally, with the use of ICT technology in agriculture to get over the awful situation. However, combined approaches are required to meet the challenges raised by the COVID-19. I hope that all this situation will be addressed in the common platform of this web conference. So I hope the web conference will give avenue to problems created by the COVID-19 pandemic to farmers and farming through constructive discussion on the perspectives on the agriculture and other applied sciences during the ongoing situation. The conference will help devise the innovative solution to global issues novel in its nature due to the pandemic. Finally, I would like to appreciate the organizing institution for the time-demanding conference and thanks personnel whose dedicated efforts and creative plans will make the conference fruitful happen. So at the end, I am very excited to let you know that Bangladesh is celebrating the 100th birth anniversary of its nation's father, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the whole country is united under the leadership of Prime Minister Hasina, and all country people are committed to realize the dream of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman to make our country Sonar Bangla. So we want every people of the country want to put our brain a lot of hearts to realize the dream of our Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman to ensure the food security of the country, of the world. So thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to invite Professor Amar P. Garg, sir, Vice Chancellor, Shobhit Deemed University, Meerut, India. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Huma Naz, and thank you, Dr. Wajid. My fellow Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Professor Kushwaha, my fellow colleague, Professor Ruhi Dahiya, Vice Chancellor, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur, Dr. Muhammad Motir, A.K. Srivastav Saab, Professor C.P. Singh, Dr. Sri Prasad, Dr. Atia Al-Gayer, Dr. Razul, Dr. Harkesh Singh, and several other dignitaries who are present on the dais and off the dais, and the beautiful, brilliant participants. I am seeing that about more than 300 participants have already joined on this big platform. This is a wonderful event on this beautiful morning and beautiful Sunday during this COVID-19 situation, when we are discussing the problems of the farmers and the agriculture on this big platform from the different countries and from the different academia and the different persons. This is a wonderful event and the wonderful system, and thanks to the COVID-19 that I will speak just only on the positive aspect, because it has brought us all together from the globe in such a nice way that we can collect together, we can exchange our ideas. It has saved our time, it has saved our energy, it has saved our money. And it is a wonderful thing that from different parts of the world we have collected together through this webinar system. Otherwise, India or the developing countries like Bangladesh and others, we would have taken still 10 years to come on this such type of the system. This system has really changed the thinking and thoughts, economy, and the working style of the entire world at a whole. We have to think about it, that how we can protect our environment, how we can protect our biodiversity, and how we can get rid of such type of the infections, such type of the diseases in future. If you just see, then you will find that why such type of the infections are coming. The major reason is that the dilution of the biodiversity. I will not take much time. I will just briefly touch the points that because of the dilution of the biodiversity, such type of the infections are being jumped from animals to human. There are 1.7 million viruses which are still unidentified, and they are living in the unidentified animals, and they can jump to the human at any time if we do not stop hunting these wild animals. So we have to protect our biodiversity. The second question is that why all these viral infections are being jumped in China. If you see the history of the last few years, then you will find that in 2003, 2004, and now in 2019, and some more viruses, the new viruses are being originated and jumping from a wild type of the life from China, because the wildlife in China is under threat. And why? Because now what is happening that our population is going vertical, our buildings are going vertical, and our vegetation is going horizontal, and that is why there is an imbalance in the environment. And due to this imbalance, the biodiversity is at the threat. The threat of the biodiversity is and now similarly, due to the change of the climate, the agriculture is also affected. And now this is the estimate that the scientists, they have estimated that in coming 10 years, 80% of the world population will convert into the plant-based diet system. The people will get rid of this animal-based diet system, and therefore the role of the agriculture will double in the world. And there will be a much more emphasis and much more responsibility on a country like India, which is the agriculturally dominant country. 60%, about 60% of our population is engaged in the agriculture profession, and we are contributing 17% to the GDP. And in this entire GDP, entire this COVID-19 pandemic situation, you might have seen that in the entire world, it was the only agriculture sector which was almost not affected in the way as the other sectors were affected. So if the developing countries like India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, or Egypt, these countries, if we focus and develop and concentrate on the agriculture sector alone, and we adequately educate the farmers, and we promote the organic farming and such type of the technologies which are giving the promotion and encouragement to the vertical farming, then this situation can be changed. We can feed the entire world. So this conference, which has been rightly and timely designed and developed by the concept of Dr. Wajid and his team, it will give a very good platform to discuss the various aspects of the agriculture and how we can organize such type of the things, and we can improve the farmer's condition. Without improving the economic conditions of the farmer, no country can think the development. No economy can develop. No society can develop. No human can remain happy and healthy. Both the things. I'm saying happy and healthy. For happiness and healthiness, this is the agriculture alone which will contribute. So we will have to focus and concentrate on the newer technologies, on the climate change system, on the biodiversity, on the organic farming, on vertical farming, and the high yielding varieties. Now a new concept has been given also now, because you must be knowing that recently our honorable Prime Minister has made a forum of the Vaibhav Sumit. This Vaibhav Sumit, it is being discussing the various aspects that how the pupil can remain happy. And now the concept has come that this is not only the quality of the nutrition, but the quality of the digestion is also important. And for that, we will have to work together with the yoga, Ayurveda, herbal medicines, herbal drugs, and all these things, and anything, any economy you take, every economy and everything finally and ultimately depends and concentrate on the agriculture. So agriculture needs to be promoted and needs to be encouraged. Now the three bills which have been recently introduced in parliament, and they have now become law, and if you see all these three bills, you will find that they are focusing on that how we can make the farmers happy, and how we can help the farmers to get the double their income by 2022. I am of the firm belief and the opinion, and several times from this platform and from the other platform, I have been advocating that until and unless we increase the price of the perishable food crops of the farmers, the condition of the farmer cannot improve, will never improve. And therefore, what is the hitch to the government to make the minimum support price of the perishable food crops? You will find that sometimes the tomato is being sold at 2 rupees per kg in the market, and sometimes it being sold at the 100 rupees per kg in the market. There is huge gap. So there should be at least a minimum support price for such type of the perishable crops, so that the farmer can plan his production, his agriculture in a nice way. Now the system what the government has introduced, that the farmers cooperative societies, and they will enter into the memorandum of understanding with the companies. Okay, good. But at this time, the interest of the farmers is required to be protected. And for the protection of the interest of the farmers, the government will have to introduce the minimum support price for every crop. Maybe this is potato, maybe this is tomato, maybe this is ladyfinger, or maybe any crop. For every crop, you fix a price, minimum price. Then the farmer knows that I will get at least this much price of my crop at the end of the day. And therefore, he will more focus and concentrate on the production. At the same time, now the government is having several type of the scheme for the farmers, for the welfare of the society, and for the, so the middle class and high income group class, they can well easily afford the higher price of the agricultural food material. So the social security system, it should be, the subsidy should be the farmers. In fact, if you talk to the farmer, then you will find that he doesn't need the subsidy. He simply needs that the right price of his crop should be given to him. The only thing is that we are not providing the right price of the crop, right thing to the farmer, and that is why he is disturbed and he has been trapped under the loan, agriculture loan. If many of I am interacting with the several farmers, and when the banks and when the people they go to them, they show them the so many things, they lure them that you will get, if you will invest this much, if you will take this much loan, then you will get this much income. But at the end of the day, he finds that this scheme is just nothing, and he has been befooled. So he is trapped in the loan. So this type of the system has to be removed. So the farmers has to be ensured that he gets a minimum support price of his agricultural produce, whether it is perishable crops, whether it is non-perishable crops, and how it can be ensured that now the government has introduced that the small scale industries or the food processing units will be installed at the village. Yes, this is a good step. And this can improve the condition of the farmer, provided that these units are established and their share is distributed among the farmers. It should not remain as like this, that the big companies will go to the villages, they will collect their product, and then again they will start their exploitation. So the exploitation of farmers is to be stopped. And now I'm coming on this national education policy which has been framed, and very unfortunately Professor Dahiya will also agree to me that last time when we were meeting in the Vice Chancellor's conference, then we had also emphasized that agriculture education has been given very less emphasis. So from a platform like this, I would request Dr. Wajid and the other organizers that at the end of the day, there should be at least some discussion that why this agriculture education has not been given adequate and right place in this national education policy. For example, if you see the CBSE syllabus, there are 33 skill-based programs which have been introduced. And out of these 33, there are only 3 programs of the agriculture. It is very unfortunate. 60% of our population, it is based on the agriculture. 17% of the GDP, agriculture is contributing directly. And if you see indirectly, then you will find that for almost every type of the industry, the agriculture is the base product. And if you will see, indirect contribution of the agriculture is great. And in that, we are having only 3 courses of the agriculture skill-based system here at the CBSE level out of 33. So this is the platform like this, where there's so many people are connected together. We should discuss at the last that how this agricultural education and the farmers' welfare, this can be promoted and this can be taken care of at the government level, at the central level, and we should promote and we should enforce it. So with these few words, I wish all great success to the conference, and I congratulate to the organizers for selecting the right topic and for the people who have collected from entire world together to discuss this this very right and very promising and encouraging topic. And thank you very much for coming on this platform. On my behalf, on behalf of Shobit Institute of Engineering and Technology, and on behalf of the organizers, I welcome all the participants. And the participants, please be interactive. Put your questions, and we will try to address these questions in this conference. And I think that that the Dr. Wajid has taken the precautions to give the more and more time to the youngest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
But
much,
sir,
sir.
we have a very tight schedule.
Yes, I know it. But if we can manage at the time,
We will try. We will try.
something like this discussion on the education in fact, this is very sad. I have been writing, we people should also write that why this agriculture education has been neglected. This has not been given the adequate place in the new education policy. And without the agriculture, I don't think that any country can develop, and any country can flourish.
Very much agree with you, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Huma.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Athiya Ahmed, sir, from Giza, Egypt.
Okay, I can start now?
Yeah.
Can
Welcome,
I start?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much. I can start.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah.
start
Yes, sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can start.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me for this grand conference. And I know India very well, and I have many friends at your country But I would like to greet everybody for this conference from Cairo. It is all the capital for the world. From Egypt, it is the best place for my name. And also, I would like to say some words to greet these conferences. I know I have only 5 minutes to talk. In this case, I will start to be summarized all of things for 5 minutes only. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk about 4 points. Firstly, about this conference. I am sure this international conference on PAS 2020 will focus on the various scientific tracks covering the main areas of research in agriculture and biological and applied science, and will become a platform for bringing together the global scientific community, including policy markets and the administrators, industry representatives, and the other stakeholders for exchange and share experience, new idea, innovative approach, and solution. Secondly, people who have worked tirelessly. The success of this conference will only be on the effort of the countless people who have worked tirelessly and in very way to make sure that this conference achieves its objectives. Thirdly, an institution involved in organizing. I offer my best wishes to all the institutions involved in the organizing this international online conference. Firstly, best wishes. I wish this 3-day international conference, PAS 2020, grand succeed. Thank you very much. I think I take only 5 minutes.
Thank you,
Hello.
sir. Yeah, sir, your voice audible, sir. Dr. Huma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dr.
finished.
Huma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
Now I would like to invite Professor Rui Daya, Ma'am, Vice Chancellor, Jyoti Vidyapeeth University, Jaipur. Ma'am.
Sorry, I had some internet connectivity issue.
You are audible.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay.
You can start.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Namaskar and a very warm good morning and adab to all the respective and honorable dignitaries on the occasion of International Conference on Perspectives on Agriculture and Applied Sciences in COVID-19 scenario, which has been jointly organized by Agriculture Environment Technology Development Society, Udham Singh Nagar, Uttarakhand, and also Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, Ghazipur, Bangladesh, Shobit Institute of Engineering Technology, Meerut, and Soil Water Environmental Research Institute, Ghazia, Egypt, and Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, and Kuruita Agroscience. A very warm morning once again to each and everyone present. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Kushwaha, Honorable Dr. Nazirul Islam, DG, Bari, Bangladesh, our very own Professor Garg, Professor Sanjay Swami, Organizing Convener, Dr. Mohammad Mutair, Dr. Prasad Vista from Nepal, and Dr. A. Srivastava, Professor C.P. Singh, Dr. Wajid, who has been actively involved in organizing, Dr. Huma, and all other organizing team and members, all respective scientists, expertise. Interruption due to technological problems of the internet, I suppose. I welcome each and everyone to this wonderful conference. And I thank it's been in organizing such a wonderful international conference. As you know that now all the emphasis are on agriculture post-COVID and during COVID. So the industry of agriculture is one of the biggest industries in India. And so I have to be given later on, so I will not take much of time here to emphasize, but I will be speaking the food secretary to first is should on the production side now. Most of the focus should be on the food security, along with food and nutrition security. In fact, I will not say only the food security. So it's the focus mostly should be on the nutritional aspects of the food security. And yes, many a times the government of India has, it's in the process of how to generate more income for the farmers and how to make them more sustainable and increase their livelihood. As Professor Garg was mentioning, there are n number of things which the governments all over the world can do that. And but since on the production side, since our farmers are actually good in production, we have ample of production, but still we are not reaching to the global level at the processing sector or export sector. There are n number of reasons, socio-economical backgrounds, cultural myths, and political issues. They do not allow the farmers to reach to that level. But now, due to different policy changes, hopefully the farmers will reach to some targets, but yet we are not very much sure, and we have to work towards it more laboriously. Since, as I said, we have a good production, maybe in livestock, we have good production in dairy, good production in agriculture, in horticulture particularly, even medicinal plants, as Sir was mentioning, we have n number of diversity in large number of medicinal plants. In your Udham Singh Nagar, I've stayed for 4 years. I have worked with different NGOs also. And at that time, I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 years back, where we used to work for the medicinal plants where still many people in India, they were not working on it. So during the COVID, we have realized that immunity of the population can only increase with the help of medicinal plants, different spices, different herbs. So each and every part of agriculture is important. We cannot just deny and say only the food processing or only the production sector. We need a lot of infrastructures which have to be developed maybe by companies, maybe by the government, maybe by the entrepreneurs. And as Sir was mentioning, yes, agriculture education, I know this is not the platform, but hopefully I request your organization, your institutes, whosoever is collaborating to take care of this, you also want to organize a webinar or international, maybe national level conference, that how the agriculture education can help. It's not only the training of the farmers, but our students, our agriculture students, they are not educated, they are literate. I must say in agriculture, there is a difference between literacy and education, but they are not educated at par with the international standards at the global level. And how do you expect then the farmer to be educated? So first we have to take care of our students, our youth, to be educated properly in practically not theoretically, in all agricultural aspects, in all nutritional aspects, in food security aspect, in food processing aspect, in how to consider agriculture as an industry. There are n number of graduates, postgraduates, and people from other professions who are shifting their profession towards agriculture. Why? Reason being, they need more income because now we have problem of employment, and this is after health sector, this is the biggest sector in India which can give employment. I must say not only in India but all over the world, because everybody is suffering from this pandemic, and therefore people are changing their profession towards agriculture. And one fine day it will come that there is so much of saturation that people will stop this industry also. So to stop damaging the industry and making it proceed forward, so why should we need to educate our students? We need to educate our youth. We need to educate our entrepreneurs. We need to give them a platform how to be educated, first of all, and what sectors are suitable for whom, for which part of India, for which region of India. I give you one very simple example that many days now we are focusing on hydroponics, we are focusing on vertical farming, urban gardening, urban farming. Yes, we should do it, but we should not forget our traditional farming as well. Today morning, a friend of mine, she had this inquiry that if we are growing any crop in the soil, and the nutrition at the local soil, the nutrition is much higher as compared when we grow in the hydroponic. This may be true, and it may not be true, because there are certain vegetables which grow very well in other vegetables. As far as the nutrition is concerned, now the population is not the matter whether in the soil or grow it in the hydroponic. But yet, if we are growing in the soil, why people are shifting to hydroponic? Because firstly, the land size has reduced. Secondly, urbanization at the highest level has taken place. Thirdly, because the soil is unhealthy. So if we start looking at the soil web zone and we start making our healthy soil, then there is no need of going for anything which is highly technical and highly not economical and very expensive structures. Even the farmers should not be encouraged to go for hydroponic. The farmers should not go be encouraged to go for any kind of technology, drone technology, etc., and very hi-fi sort of technology. The farmer should be taught how to improve the soil condition, how to improve the soil health, and what are the drawbacks of growing non-diversified crops. And as per the region, as per the climate, every farmer used to grow the things in the local soil earlier. Why not now? So the question is not that immediately to shift into technology. It will take many years for Indian agriculture to be technologically sound and mechanized. And it is not that fully it should be mechanized, because then the uneducated, illiterate farmer will stand nowhere. So along the farmer, we always forget that we have women farmer. We always forget we have the family of the farmer. You may feel that the farmer family is no more interested in agriculture, but no. Now after COVID, the things have changed. The farmers' children, they like to be doing farming because they see the profit coming from the farming. So as far as the privatization sector is concerned, yes, they should come and become big players, provided they consider the nutritional factor, they consider the soil health, they consider the increasing the income of the farmer and not helping the farmer to be at the back. The farmer should always be in the front. So with this and all those risks which are involved, so I think I will not take much time here because the lecture is later on. But I just wanted to emphasize that these are the issues we are facing. And I'm sure many issues are there at the international and global level of different countries, representatives from Egypt, from Nepal, from Bangladesh, from all over the world as in here. A great participation I can see here, which is a matter of really pleasure to see. And I'm very thankful to the organizers of this international conference, to Professor Garg and Dr. Wajid, who have been very kind enough to include me and consider me as a panelist, and also invite me for being a part of this conference. It is
Ma'am,
really
in
a
future
pleasure.
also, we are very happy join us.
Thank you. I will definitely do whatever I can to contribute as much as I can at any platform you ask me. Due to COVID, unfortunately, I cannot travel, but when the things become all right, then definitely I will visit your institutes anywhere in the world. I don't mind. I have been traveling all over the world. And let me tell you, I belong to Iran, and I've settled in India now by virtue of my marriage, and I'm very close to the Middle East. So you see, we are in the Middle East, we consume a lot of leafy vegetables and salads. So I think these are, and medicinal plant and herbs, which are very important for COVID and increasing your immunity. So I suggest all your students, all the participants and faculty members and scientists who are here in this platform to think over that how to proceed for the new type of research in agriculture, whereby the immunity and food nutrition should be given a value. Once again, I thank you all of you. I wish all of you a very, very healthy and safe COVID period to get over. And I wish all you and your family to stay safe and remain healthy as much as possible. Please take care of yourself and take care of your families. And also I wish the seminar a very huge success, and also in your future endeavor. Once again, thank you so much for inviting me, and it has been a great pleasure to be with you. Namaskar, Jai Hind.
Dr. Huma, please unmute.
Dr. Huma. Dr. Huma.
Dr. Huma, please. Dr. Huma, are you hearing?
Now I would like to invite Professor Sampan sir.
Actually, Professor Sampan sir having network issue.
Okay. So now I would like to invite our chief guest, Professor Dr. Saket Kushwaha, Sir, Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar, Andhra Pradesh. Professor Saket Kushwaha, sir.
Thank you. I think I'm audible.
Yeah, sir. You are audible.
Thank you.
Yes,
You.
you are audible.
First of all, let me extend my warm greeting to Dr. Wajid. And,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Huma. I think
Thank
if you two of you recall our interaction in Meerut when
Yes, sir.
Dr. Bhinder Singh organized that conference. So I'm very happy, and I wish to thank both of you for giving me this platform to be here. My London colleagues, all honorable vice chancellors associated here, all international partners here on this webinar. Let me greet them one by one. Agricultural and Environmental Technology Development Society, US Nagar, Uttarakhand, India. Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute, BARI, Ghazipur, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, Modipuram, Meerut, University, India. Then, of course, my university, Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh. Then, Soil, Water and Environmental Research, SWERI, Agriculture Research Center, ARC, Giza, Egypt. Organizers here, my colleague, Professor Sumpam Tangjang, who is also going to chair one of the session. You know, this is, for me, this is a very timely intervention. Though Dr. Wajid, I think in last 4 years, I know, under the leadership of Dr. CP Singh and group, I think they have organized not less than 15 conferences. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you, sir.
Wajid.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Team, Wajid and team, thank you for doing this kind of thing. And other delegates and participants, my humble greetings to all of you. Let me tell you my feeling about the whole thing. See, no one expected this COVID novel coronavirus infestation like this. But then we human beings, we are trained for this kind of thing. I mean, all the issues, you know, they come in the purview of risk and uncertainty. So we as a human being must be ready to face the challenges. I was actually listening to some of the renowned speaker on certain issues, and they gave me insight that if you recall this pandemic or epidemic which came from time to time, they are virtually associated with the technology development. I mean to say, let me expatiate. You see, they are actually trying to tell that the whole earth is within the envelope of magnetic field, electromagnetic field. There are over 20,000 satellites in the circuiting the earth. 20,000 satellites. That means somehow the electromagnetic field and some other radiations are there. And I'm not from this field, though I'm an agriculture economist. So I might not know the nitty-gritty of this pathogen. But somehow I learned from those various talks that virus is somehow at many times, though they are unknown. I mean, our Professor Amar, he just spoke well that there could be millions of these viruses, but they are output of I think somehow the whole thing is associated with one kind of dynamics. We have to explore the dynamics between the technological development and then these kind of viruses. This is a matter of great concern and research. I also feel that though to feed the nations, to feed the burgeoning population of this world, we need huge amount of food. That means productivity has to change, and then production has to be handled. If you recall, in 1947, before this Green Revolution kind of thing, per hectare yield, that means productivity was very low. And I think at that time, we were using, in India I'm talking about, fine coarse cereal and maybe coarse cereal. You know, there are two kinds of cereals. There are some fine coarse. Then we switched over to wheat. And virtually at that time, when you see the report of Professor Swaminathan, the father of Green Revolution, somehow we get a lot of attention, lot of resources were sunk in meeting the need of, or maybe to alter the productivity through high yielding variety, through technological intervention. In case of fine cereals, wheat, rice, some pulses also we considered somehow at the later stage, maybe then oilseed also. But the main focus was wheat and rice. And somehow I believe that in the race of meeting the food requirement of this country, and maybe towards attaining the food sufficiency. Also in action of helping some neighboring countries. Maybe also sometime we wanted to help those countries where there was a lot of poverty. We managed our soil with different science and technology. And that is why you can see nowadays the expenditure on treating cancer patient in Punjab, that is why I'm happy Dr. Wajid and his group, his team, that they are bringing these kind of seminar and conferences for us to have brainstorming. You see, I do agree that we are supposed to do the intervention for sustainable development. But when you see the sustainable development goals given by UN, they are also talking about balancing the environment. I think there's an echo somewhere. Some of my colleagues, they have on their, they must mute their mobile or whatever.
Sir, I mute him.
Thank you. And don't mute me. What I'm trying to tell you is that there's a need for us to have balance thing in the life. You know, in Hindi, we used to tell that खाने में नमक अच्छा होता है, but नमक में अगर खाना बनाओगे तो digest नहीं होगा. The thing is that what I wanted to tell you, for the purpose of benefit to other colleagues who may not understand Hindi, that to have a win-win situation, when you see the dimension of sustainable development, there are three basic things all of you are aware. One of them is to feed the population so that we don't have insurgency, civil war, those kind of things. But then we went beyond it. Some of the colleagues, they are feeling that there's a need for subsidy. My family profession is practicing agriculture. I'm a practicing farmer. In Kanpur area, I am doing my own farming. I have not left it. But let me tell you the sad part of the whole story. I think a week ago, I was going through the alumni platform of Banaras Hindu University. Name is ABHA. I think some of you are even associated with ABHA. Where I saw that 90% of the people who have higher end research degree even in agriculture, most of them are genetics, plant breeding, entomology, pathology. Most of them, 70% of them, they have jobs in bank. 10% of them are in the civil services. Only 20% of them are either teachers, ARS, and research scientists in different. This is the scenario. Hardly you will find somebody after obtaining the degree of agriculture has gone back to the farm. You see, I was trying with about 20 students some of them were in Bihar, some of them are still in Uttar Pradesh. But they could not meet the end of the system, end means of survival. And 4 of them I have lost, they have gone to US. They tried 3 years, struggled, bringing small farms under one umbrella, under cluster farming system. They went ahead for organic farming, but at the end, they could not sustain the system. Trying for 3-4 years, they have gone to US for higher research. So what I mean to tell you is this, that somehow, to me, economy of the scale is a problem. When you see the profitability, when you see the return on investment in agriculture is sufficient. When we are talking about the rate of our agricultural produce, when you relate the rate in India with the income of average Indian, this is sufficient. Rate is not low. The same when you see, even my international friends are there in Dhaka, in Egypt, ask them the price and ask them the income of the people. So rate of commodity is not compromised. But up to what level you are going to give the, though government has never stopped minimum support price, still there. They have rather improved it. But then most perishable item, even if government is going to buy, what are they going to do it? It is job of the people. It is the job of, lot of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Lot of cottage industries are there. It is job of us to encourage people to start some business. I mean, we are all, when you see 20%, 30% population staying in urban area. But when you see the requirement and consumption pattern, even in the rural area, some of us we have anyway, so I think this is a very timely seminar, and when I see the dimension and spread of the experts, when I see the details of technical sessions we are going to have, I feel very proud to be associated. I feel very happy. And then, though this is not the right time and right forum, since it is an inaugural function, for me to talking too much technical things, it will be addressed by experts here. Once again, my greetings, my humble time greetings to all the delegates, participants, learned speakers, resource person, chairmen, organizers, and international community associated here. And bravo to Dr. Wajid and Dr. Huma and his team. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Arunachal Pradesh. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Kushwaha, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Wajid for felicitation of ATDS award. Dr. Wajid.
Yeah. With the permission of our chairman, and our special guest and all of them, now I am going to announce prestigious Agricultural and Environmental Technology Development Society awards. The first awards, the most prestigious award of ATDS. We have only 2 lifetime achievements award in this conference. First one, it goes to Dr. J. Srikanth, Principal Scientist, ICR Sugarcane Breeding Institute, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, in the field of agricultural entomology. He is serving since last 30 years. Dr. J. Srikanth, I would like to invite you for 2 minutes. Kindly share your experience.
Good morning. Can you hear me, Dr. Wajid?
Yeah.
Good morning to you all, to the distinguished panelists who have enlightened us on various aspects of Indian agriculture and the relevance of the symposium. And I thank the organizers of the symposium for having selected me for this Lifetime Achievement Award. I really feel honored. And although I never worked for any awards, this recognition, in fact, symbolizes the culmination of my sustained efforts to contribute my best to the cause of agri-research. I really feel humbled and even more responsible than before. And I shall continue to give whatever possible in the little profession service. I have only about 2 years of service. I would continue to give what best I can give, and even thereafter. I mean, after retirement also, I would like to contribute to the cause of agricultural research. I've joined the program since morning. I've been following the proceedings very closely. Very interesting and lively presentations by all the distinguished panelists. I'll continue to be with the symposium. My best wishes to all. Tomorrow, my colleague will be presenting a paper on my behalf. I'll continue to follow the proceedings, and if possible, I'll also interact and give my inputs. Once again, I thank the organizers, Dr. Wajid and others, for having selected me for this honor and reward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Once again, congrats, sir.
Thank you.
Next, the ATDS prestigious Eminent Scientist Award goes to Dr. Ali Anwar, He is working as Chief Scientist, Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, Shalimar, Srinagar, India, in the field of, for his outstanding contribution in the field of plant pathology. The next ATDS prestigious award, we have only one award in this category, Scientist of the Year award, goes to Dr. B.R. Bazaya. He is working as Senior Scientist in the Division of Agronomy, Faculty of Agriculture Science, Sukast, Jammu, India, for his outstanding contribution in the field of agronomy. Another, we have a very big award by our society, ATDS prestigious award, Distinguished Scientist Award, goes to Dr. Mirza Hasnuzzaman. Dr. Mirza Hasnuzzaman, Professor, Sher-e-Bangla Agriculture University, Dhaka, Bangladesh, for his outstanding contribution and recognition of the field of plant physiology. Another Eminent Scientist Award 2020 goes to Dr. R. Thanga Velu. He is working as Principal Scientist at ICR National Research Center for Banana, Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu, India, for his outstanding contribution in the field of plant pathology. We have the Art Entrepreneur Award. In this conference, we have single awardees for this category, Dr. Nidhi Didwania. He is working as Associate Professor, Maris and Richo Agronica Private Limited, Faridabad, Haryana, for her outstanding contribution and recognition in the field of biopesticide and biofertilizer. We have another Distinguished Scientist Award 2020 goes to Dr. Faiz Mohsin. He is working as Professor at Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Rampur, under the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, Meerut, India, for his outstanding contribution and recognition in the field of agroforestry. We have another Distinguished Scientist awardees, Dr. Mirza Hasnuzzaman, Professor, Sher-e-Bangla Agriculture University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. We have another awardee in this category, Dr. Renu Gupta, Senior Assistant Professor, Faculty of Agriculture Science, Jammu, Sukast, for her outstanding contribution in the field of soil fertility and microbiology. In the category of Young Scientist or Young Women Scientist Award, we have 4 to 5 awards in this category. First award go to Miss Poppy Bora. She is working as scientist at Assam Agriculture University, Jorhat, Assam, for her outstanding contribution and recognition in the field of plant pathology. We have Young Scientist Associate Award 2020 goes to Dr. Neelam Pankaj. She is a researcher at Govind Wallam Pant University of Agricultural Science and Technology, Uttarakhand. Award goes her for her outstanding contribution and recognition in the field of plant physiology. In the category of Young Scientist Award, we have another awardee is Dr. Pooja Kumari. She is working as scientist at NBPGR, New Delhi. This award goes her for her outstanding contribution and recognition in the field of plant pathology. In this category, we have another awardee, Ravi Kant Chobe. He is working as subject matter specialist in the field of agronomy. Thank you, sir. Dr. Huma. Dr. Huma.
Yeah. Now I would like to invite Professor C.P. Singh, sir, President of ATDS Society, for vote of thanks. C.P. Singh, sir.
Sir, kindly unmute your microphone.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are
You are
listening
audible
you.
now.
Good
Your
morning,
voice audible, sir.
everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Thanks to all the distinguished dignitaries, Professor Saket Kushwaha from Rajiv Gandhi University, Professor Garg, Vice Chancellor from Soviet University, and Professor Dahiya, Vice Chancellor from Jaipur University. I thanks to those dignitaries giving their opinion and experiences, innovative ideas in different field of agriculture and different diversified ecological sphere. They have enriched everybody, especially participants, our young participants who are working in their different field. So I am very thankful to all of you for giving so high quality knowledge to our participants. Now, I am also thankful to our organizing committee, Dr. Wajid, Dr. Harikesh, Huma, Dr. Swami, who are working day and night to make success this event. Our pillar of the event, that is our participants who have produced their research article, book chapters, and other innovative aspect on different agricultural ideas, applied sciences to enrich the farmers community. This knowledge will ultimately enrich our end user, that is farmers. This is the need of the day. Agriculture, as Dr. Professor Garg has said, that agriculture should be at our basic level. That is, which earlier was said, that 10+2 system. In our India, slowly and slowly the agriculture has been gone away from lower level of education. So it is a very good idea. Similarly, all dignitaries given their different opinion to enrich the society, human community, and so that our GDP of all the country world over will increase. In the last but not least, the participants, the workers, and the associated which are directly or indirectly engaged in this event to make it successful. I am thankful to all those. And finally, again, thanks to all of you to make this event very successful. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Dr. Huma.
Thank you so much, Professor C.P. Singh sir, for a vote of thanks. Now, this is the time for closing of inaugural ceremony. So, I would like to thank to all of you, all participants from all over the world, for attending this inaugural ceremony. Now, we will start our first session after 10 minutes at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and no need to go any another link. This link will be available for all 3 days for this web conference. Thank you.
For all sessions, we will use same link today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much to all of you.
All of you, Dr. Wajid, Dr. Huma, you remind me of my cousin Huma.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see all of you, and thank you, Dr. C.P. Singh, for a word of encouragement. And Sorry today other commitments, so I cannot continue with you for today, but
Thank you, ma'am.
let's see you tomorrow. It was a wonderful
Okay, thank you.
session held. Thank you so much and best wishes.
Thank you.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
All the
Have a-
best.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you, Dr. Garg.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
And keep safe, all of you, please.
We'll meet sometimes again and continue to meet.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day, all of you.
Thank you.
Dr. Naresh Chandra Dev Burma, sir. Dr. Naresh Chandra Burma, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, okay, very good.
You are welcome, sir. In the session 1, you are the chairman, and you have with two co-chairmen, Dr. Shoail Akhtar and Dr. Sri Prasad Vista. Where both of them are very energetic co-chairmen. They will help you. And we have two reporters, Dr. Dinesh Mehta and Dr. S.N. Das, in this session. In this session, the first presenter is Dr. A.K. Srivastava, sir, is here. Dr. A.K. Srivastava, sir, invited lecture of Dr. A.K. Srivastava. Okay, thank you, sir. So, sir, it's better we wait for 5 to 10 minutes, then start.
Okay. Shall I wait? Dr. Wajid?
Dr. Uma, we can start. Actually, this time we can consume in the evening session also. If our chairman, co-chairman, and reporters and presenter are ready, so we can start now.
Presenter
Dr.
is
Uma? Yeah, presenter is also ready. Dr. Uma?
Yeah, we will start at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, shall we break for 10 minutes?
Actually, break is not a good for any events.
Okay.
It's a tea time, tea break.
So kindly provide tea to all of them, all of us.
The tea at your own cost at your own home.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Break has been already announced, so we should wait for 5 minutes.
Electronic tea by the society.
Okay.
Electronic tea by the society.
After 5 minutes.
Session chairman has nothing to do. Okay. Okay, allowed, no problem. Yeah.
Sir, chairman of the session should provide tea to all. Because this is session.
Good proposal, very nice. Okay, enjoy time.
I am so happy that we have finished our inaugural session in time. So it's that our also running as well as on time, because we have a very hectic schedule for 3 days from 8 a.m. morning to 7 p.m. evening. Sir, Dr. Murad Hamironi from Algeria. Sir, are you listening? Are you hear me? Dr. Murad Hamironi, Department of Agroveterinary Science, Faculty of Natural and Life Science, Dezelfa, Algeria. I want to make you panelist, otherwise you can't present your paper. Professor Zaman sir, I think you show. Okay. Dr. A.K. Srivastava. Dr. Santosh Kumar Bisnoi. Dr. Santosh Kumar Bisnoi. Hello. Dr. Santosh Kumar Bisnoi. Nomthung Mure, are you listening me? Kindly share me in chat box your name by which you have attended the conference, because you are oral presenter at number 4. Dr. Muhammad Rezaul Kabir. Sir, Dr. Muhammad Rezaul Kabir.
Yeah, I am present here.
Just a minute, sir. Are you in attendee or panelist?
No, I am just attendee, not panelist.
Attendee. So tell me your name in attendee.
Dr. Rezaul Kabir, BWMRI.
Doctor or Rezaul. But you didn't see Dr. Rezaul. So kindly,
He's there.
can you name in chat box?
Okay, I am sending you a message.
So spelling, sir.
Muhammad Rezaul Kabir.
I can see him, sir.
Dr. Motiar, you are co-host. Kindly allow him and make him as a panelist.
I can see him. He is present there.
He's a present,
Okay, sir.
presenter.
Okay. No, we have to make panelist to every presenter. Otherwise, they will not share their screen. Okay, sir.